Subscribe. MTL World at Middle World 1 YouTube channel. Swallowed Star 2. Origin Continent. Volume 7. Nine Rivers Holy Realm. Chapter 285 Di Qing's Mixed Feelings. 13th of Volume 7. Luo Feng observed the infinite space treasury, where an extensive array of treasures was displayed with detailed information. I'm not entirely confident. I'm still at the God Emperor stage, though my mind and will have already transcended their previous limits, Luo Feng reflected. The 250,000 reward points I have now might be all I'll ever get. I should save enough points and use them when I reach the semi-Xuanhuan level in the future, he reasoned. As he reflected, Luo Feng realized that his current realm is still relatively low, and he wasn't sure what he needed most to break through his limitations. It would be wiser to exchange for treasures only after reaching the semi-Xuanhuan level. I should just get something relatively inexpensive, he decided, scanning through the lower-cost treasures until he found his target. I'll exchange for the Immortal Heart. Without hesitation, Luo Feng proceeded with the exchange. The Immortal Heart is an indestructible secret treasure with boundless vitality, enhancing both the physical body and the ability to manifest an additional powerful combat body. It is especially suitable for cultivating the daos of life and destruction and required 43,000 reward points to redeem it. Among treasures priced below 100,000 reward points, this was the only one that aligned with both the Dao of life and the Dao of destruction. The weapons and treasures sold in Yulan City were typically crafted by God Emperors. Even if Luo Feng were to reach the half-Xuanhuan level, with a realm potentially surpassing that of these forgers, the benefits of such weapons would be limited. In contrast, the treasures from the infinite space treasury were all forged by beings who had already broken free from their constraints. After completing the exchange, Luo Feng's reward points dropped to 211,093.03. He planned to wait until he reached the semi-Xuanhuan level before acquiring more treasures. In the origin continent, Huyang City, within the city lord's mansion, inside the Star Tower. The ancestors of two kingdoms often constructed special places for secluded cultivation, but Luo Feng didn't require one, because inside the Star Tower was the safest place for him. Immortal Heart, Luo Feng murmured as he sat cross-legged, gazing at the glowing blue orb in his hand. The eye of life and death at the center of his eyebrows opened, revealing the vast and intricate patterns hidden within the orb. These mysteries were just as profound as the remnants of a special life form. Deep within, a faint, blazing droplet of blood pulsed, the source of all the orb's intricate patterns. This pearl must have been forged around a single drop of blood as its core, Luo Feng analyzed. Judging by its complexity, it likely originated from a world-class Xuanhuan life form. That explains its endless vitality and indestructibility. The immense power of a world-class Xuanhuan life form granted the pearl its undying nature, making it a treasure of limitless endurance at the God Emperor level. It is natural that the power derived from the world-class Xuanhuan life form can make a treasure to have the characteristics of endless vitality and indestructible. Before breaking free from the cage, this immortal heart will be enough for me to study and comprehend, Luo Feng mused with satisfaction. From the infinite space treasury, he had now obtained two of the most suitable treasures for himself, the Eye of Life and Death and the Immortal Heart. Of course, the treasury also contained various auxiliary cultivation treasures. Of course, there are also some rare treasures in the infinite space treasury that assists in spiritual cultivation. For instance, a mystical sapling could be planted, and meditating under its shade could accelerate enlightenment, turning a single day of practice into the equivalent of thousands or even tens of thousands of days. Occasionally, it could even trigger a moment of sudden realization. Then there is the wisdom tree. The tree of wisdom itself could analyze all things, study the great Tao, and aid cultivation far beyond what the Eye of Life and Death could achieve. These rare treasures were only revealed to Luo Feng once he had accumulated over 250,000 reward points. Treasures are unlimited, but my reward points are limited. I need to allocate them wisely, Luo Feng thought calmly. Immortal Heart, Eye of Life and Death, Star Tower, from the lower realms to the higher ones, I can gradually understand how the forces of life and death intertwine. Only by comprehending their connection can I eventually master their fusion. Flipping his hand, Luo Feng retrieved a Xuanhuan crystal, absorbed it, and began studying the complex materials of low-level Xuanhuan lifeforms. Through the observation of Eye of Life and Death, these materials no longer held any secrets before him, they were fully laid bare. After all, within the Nine Rivers Holy Realm, Luo Feng has acquired most low-level Xuanhuan lifeforms. With such vast exposure, he was beginning to perceive the different possibilities that lay on the path to understanding the destruction and transformation of life itself. Life and destruction have such vast and intricate branches. Luo Feng was astonished, even feeling a bit overwhelmed. He had once harbored grand ambitions, determined to grasp all the mysteries of life and death and integrate them into his own Tao. However, now that he truly observed the vast, interconnected complexities of these mysteries, many of which were even fundamentally opposed, he found himself hesitant. Could he truly embrace and merge them into a single unified Tao? Is such a feat even possible? Could he accomplish it? The more you learn, the more you realize how boundless everything truly is, Luo Feng chuckled to himself. But isn't that what makes it interesting? His eyes burned with excitement. This path stretches endlessly before me, meaning I can keep pushing forward, continually ascending to greater heights. Then I'll take it one step at a time. Becoming stronger is a journey in itself, and an exhilarating one at that. With that thought, Luo Feng felt at ease. Strength must be cultivated gradually, just like food must be eaten slowly to be properly digested. He then resumed his meticulous study of the materials, carefully analyzing each one, categorizing the hidden patterns, and absorbing those that aligned with his personal Tao. By the 105th century after his return to the origin continent, Luo Feng's mastery of the Tao of life had naturally advanced to the early God-Emperor stage as he pursued an immense life form. By the 139th century, his Tao of destruction had also reached the early God-Emperor stage as he sought ultimate destruction. Now that both life and destruction had reached this level, Luo Feng shifted his focus to life-death fusion. These two Taos provided the most essential resources for his ultimate goal, the great Tao of life and death. Thus, he needed to guide the progression of both life and destruction based on the demands of this higher Tao. Both life and destruction have reached the early God-Emperor stage. If I aim for eternal destruction, the fusion process alone must reach at least the early God-Emperor level, which is already incredibly challenging, Luo Feng realized. In the ultimate realm of the God King, the life and death Tao is formed by the fusion of 9 major branches, acting as the foundation, the seed. A strong seed would naturally grow into an even larger and more majestic tree. Yet, despite years of effort, Luo Feng's fusion of life and death still hadn't reached the early God-Emperor stage. Before he knew it, 269th century had passed, and many uncertainties remained. At this time, Di Qing reached out, inviting Luo Feng on another hunt. Hunting. If I make the necessary preparations, I should be ready to leave within a century. Luo Feng responded to Di Qing's invitation. Di Qing had no objections. Although he was prepared to depart immediately, Luo Feng still needed time to finalize his preparations. Setting off within a century was already impressively fast on his part. Return to Yulan City. On the origin continent, Luo Feng, now possessing a body with an energy reserve 390 times that of the perfect God body, took the storage treasure known as the illusionary realm maze and began his journey back. However, he chose not to carry the immortal heart he had obtained from the infinite space treasury. His strength was still relatively weak, and possessing such a powerful treasure could make him a target. Additionally, repeated hunting expeditions carried high risks, and he could easily die before reaching his full potential. It'll be much safer to carry the immortal heart when I can match low-level Xuanhuan lifeforms at the perfection stage God-Emperor level, Luo Feng reasoned. By then, I might even be close in power to the 3 palace masters. Even if I can't defeat them, I'll at least have the strength to protect myself. On the origin continent, using a miniature universe to absorb energy is still the most efficient method, he thought as he made his way back to Yulan City, his body brimming with vast energy reserves. The connection between the origin continent and the 9 rivers realm provided him with 2 significant advantages. First, it allowed him to transport many valuable resources to the origin continent, where he could examine them with the eye of life and death. Second, it enabled him to bring back the immense energy reserves gathered from the origin continent to fuel his growth. All he needed to cover was the transportation cost. The second hunt begins. Let's go. It's time to leave. With both parties fully prepared, Di Qing and Luo Feng set out on their second hunting expedition together. What? Did you just break through? During their hunt for the first low-level Xuanhuan lifeform, Luo Feng's overwhelming power left Emperor Qing utterly stunned. He had expected Luo Feng to be capable of taking down prey on his own, but the ease with which he did it, the sheer casualness, made Di Qing feel as if he were witnessing something unreal. Have you reached the mid-stage of the God-Emperor realm? Di Qing asked in disbelief. The power Luo Feng had just demonstrated was already on par with Di Qing's full strength when utilizing his formation diagram. Di Qing himself had spent countless years cultivating, with one foot firmly in the mid-stage of the God-Emperor realm, yet the other foot still unable to step forward. He was so close, yet that final step remained elusive. Luo Feng, on the other hand. He has only arrived in Yulan City a few hundred centuries, and he is already displaying mid-stage God-Emperor level power. No, Luo Feng shook his head, clarifying, I cultivate the 2 great Taos of life and destruction. Now that both Taos have reached the early stage of the God-Emperor realm, their fusion produces this level of power. Di Qing immediately understood. Cultivators who cultivates 2 daos simultaneously are generally stronger than those who cultivates just one. However, for someone at the early stage of their daos to match a mid-stage god emperor in strength, the fusion between the 2 daos had to be incredibly refined. If the coordination is flawed, the boost in strength would be limited. Luo Feng had spent countless years comprehending the mysteries of life and death, studying the art of fusion, and aligning himself perfectly with the natural order. I always thought, Brother Luo Feng, that when you first arrived at the Nine Rivers Holy Realm, I would have to assist you. Who would have thought that, by our second hunt, it would be you helping me instead? Di Qing chuckled, shaking his head. Our team's spoils distribution needs to be renegotiated, he added. I don't have many treasures, just these gloves. Luo Feng waved dismissively. Besides, my strength is only slightly stronger than you, Brother Di Qing. Di Qing had spent a long time in Yulan City, accumulating wealth and experience. His treasure array formations helped compensate for his shortcomings in realm mastery, allowing him to remain a formidable force. Di Qing studied Luo Feng for a moment before smiling. Alright, next time we go hunting, we'll discuss a new split. He understood the reality of their situation. Even if he unleashed his secret treasure formations, their power would barely match Luo Feng's current level. But Luo Feng had multiple clones, and the fusion of the life and destruction daos was terrifyingly potent. In this hunt alone, Luo Feng's contributions had far exceeded his own. Next time, we'll renegotiate the distribution, Di Qing admitted. But if the gap between us grows too wide, we may have to part ways. For now, he was still useful to the team. His formations played a crucial role during hunts, and taking 30% of the spoils wasn't unreasonable. But if Luo Feng continued to grow at this rapid pace, there would come a time when Di Qing's presence would no longer be necessary. Luo Feng should have fully stepped into the early stage of the God Emperor realm by now, Di Qing thought. With his dual cultivation approach, only by reaching this stage could such a transformation occur. If he wants to make another major leap in power, it will likely take a long time. No need to dwell on it for now. He had mixed feelings throughout this second hunt. For the first time, Di Qing found himself in the role of support rather than leader. This expedition had gone exceptionally smoothly, perhaps too smoothly. They hadn't encountered any real danger, eliminating the low-level Xuanhuan beings without trouble. Their final target was the nine-headed beast, the peak challenge of their hunt. As we push further, the risks will increase exponentially, Di Qing cautioned. We might even draw the attention of low-level Xuanhuan lifeforms at the Perfection God Emperor level. Alright, then let's head back, Luo Feng agreed without hesitation. Though his strength had grown significantly, he still respected Di Qing's superior hunting experience. In Luo Feng's eyes, Di Qing's strategic knowledge alone justified their even split of the spoils. And so, their second hunt came to an end. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe. MTL World at Mittel World 1 YouTube channel.